Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie, and another amazing episode. I have the most remarkable guests that have so much value for you. Today we have Kim Speed on, and Kim is amazing, so you don't want to miss it. Make sure and tag your friends, share this out. Here we go. Do you want to know how amazing people connect? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie.
Thanks for connecting. And if you like what you hear, please share.
Special thank you to our sponsors of Marketing with Russ, the Alzheimer's Association, James Reed and Associates Insurance in Salem, Oregon, McCrory Digital, and Best Heating and Cooling. For more information on the Alzheimer's Association and how to give to this amazing organization in the fight against Alzheimer's, go to alz.org. For more information on James Reed and Associates and their insurance services, go to jamesreedagency.com. And for more information on McCrory Digital and their digital services, go to mccrorydigital.com. And finally, for Best Heating and Cooling in Scioto, Oregon and their heating and cooling services, go to best-heating.com. Music by Connor Hedge and Protestant, used with permission. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie. Ready for another episode. It's going to be great. Can't wait. And I am so glad that you are here today. And I tell you, it's just always amazing to me, the amazing friends that I have that are willing to come on and share value and great things with you. So today is going to be like none other. So I want you to get ready, get prepared, because it's going to be so good. So what can you do right off the bat? Well, I tell you, you can share this out with your friends and let them know what is coming on. There we go. Share, share, share. Tag your friends. Let them know that we're on, because it's great to have a reminder. You know, it's Thursday. They're winding down in their week. They're trying to get things finished up and they lose track of time. So make sure and share and tag your friends. That would be so great. And I'd appreciate that. And I just am so thankful for this amazing community, this amazing audience, because we would be nowhere without you. And so thank you for being here. We'd have no show. So I'm just so blessed to have you here. And I want to tell you, I'm so thankful for the amazing sponsors we have. Talked about the Alzheimer's Association. Thanks to the Arbor, James Reed and Associates, Paul McCrory and McCrory Digital, and Best Heating and Cooling. So amazing. That is what helps support us. But we are also listener supported. So it's so amazing. Thank you to all of you who have supported us. Click this QR code or the comment, the link in the comments, and you can give whatever you feel appropriate to our ministry. I think it's a ministry. It's a way to bring value and good, positive voices to you. And of course, there's a cost involved in production and all the things that we do. And so thank you so much for that. I could not do this without you. So thanks so much for giving and being a blessing. I appreciate you so much. And today, wow, It's going to be a good one. I'm really excited about what's coming up here. But I want to tell you a few other things. So if you're a first timer, welcome. Glad you're here. Glad you made it. What is Marketing with Russ all about? Well, it's about how amazing people connect. And I had somebody ask me a while back, well, what is connection? And I talk about community building, connection and community building. What does that have to do with marketing? Well, just about everything. Without people, you have no business. We need to connect and build community. If you haven't read the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, it's a must read. All about this connecting, building community, giving, and helping others. Another great book is Go Giver by Bob Berg. How do you give and bless other people? And you come together and build relationships. And that is so important. And that's what we're all about here. So, no matter what our amazing guests are doing, we talk all about what they're doing, but also we talk about how they connect and how that's important to them as well. So obviously, I love to connect. I keep it simple. If you know my name, you can find me, russhedge.com. Russhedge.com is a place to go. And that is all my information. It's my one-stop shop for connection information, for information about my inspirational speaking, my live stream producing, my international best-selling books, and my marketing coaching. Would be glad to help you out. And you know what? Connecting in a conversation is free. And it's a great way for us to just get to know each other, see if we can support each other, or if we can just be friends. You know what? That's great for me too. All right. Also, if you please subscribe to our YouTube, it is growing by leaps and bounds. And subscribe, share, like, all of those things. It would be so great. And how do you do it? Well, if you know the name of the show, it's easy. Go to marketingwithruss.live. Marketingwithruss.live. Again, I keep it simple. Got the show name down, got my name down. You're in good shape. So marketingwithruss.live will take you directly to my YouTube page. And so if you could just subscribe, in fact, you could open a separate window right now. Go there and subscribe if you haven't already. You will be blessed because there's thousands of amazing people there and great content for you. So thank you for that. And as I said before, thanks so much for sharing this out, letting people know we're on, and for tagging your friends. If I can click that, there we go, tagging your friends. So there you go. And I'm so thankful again for this opportunity. You know, at russhedge.com, you find the information on my books, my latest book, Life Happens and Then You Choose. That is my latest book, and it's how to overcome challenges and persevere through life in the midst of sometimes some hard situations, but keep a good perspective on life. It's all about keeping a good perspective, because every day of your life happens, and then you get to choose. What are you going to do for there? What is your perspective? Where are you going? What is it all about? So I would love it if you pick a copy up today. The link will be in the show notes and in the comments. Take you to Amazon. You can pick it up there, or you just go to russhedge.com and it'll bounce you right there. Pick up your copy today. So thank you for that. All right. The other thing we do before we get Kim in, every week we do the marketing tip of the day. Just a little tip, a little encouragement to get you moving in the right direction. Sometimes the most simple things are what is needed to get you moving. And this was inspired by my guest, Kim, today when I was looking at all that she does and thinking about that. So we're going to do it. This will get cut out separately, put on YouTube Shorts, social media, all that just by itself, the marketing tip of the day. So you can share it, like, and comment, whatever on there. I'd appreciate it if you do that too. So like to hear what you think. All right, here we go. You ready? All right. This is your marketing tip of the day. Be attractive. No, I'm not talking about looks, although most of you are looking really good out there. But no, it's being attractive, something that people want to be part of. And how do you be attractive to other people? Well, by being a blessing, by giving, by the way that you connect and you really care about people. I love what John Maxwell says. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. If you care about them and you show interest in all that they're doing, then they will be attracted to you and what you're doing. And that is a big thing, because visibility in business is so important. And you could be visible all day long, but if what you're putting out isn't attractive, then you've got problems. And the part of that you always have to remember is be intentional about what you're doing. So if you're intentional and you're going to the right people, the right community, and being attractive to them, what they're looking for, they are going to come to you. So today, don't forget, be attractive. And that is your marketing tip of the day. All right, there we go. So we're going to move on from there and get Kim in. She's back there going, wow, am I ever coming in? How's it going?
It's going great, Russ, and I love that tip. That was an excellent tip.
Well,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Well, I appreciate you so much. And, great minds think alike, right? Um,
That's
you, ins-
true.
you inspired me on that. So, listen, why don't we start at the very beginning? Who in the world is Kim Speed? What are you up to? Give everybody a little introduction of yourself.
Well, hello, everybody. I am Kim Speed, and I am a brand builder. And really, what that means is that I help experienced and um, experienced and experts in their field that are transitioning from maybe the corporate world after many years. I help them to find clarity in their message so that they can actually attract perfect fit clients. And what that really means is I help people to show up, to get seen, to be heard, and most importantly, be remembered.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, I mean, it's interesting because people do so many things nowadays, but a lot of times they feel unseen, they feel unheard, and they just don't know what's going on. And when you're helping them build their brand, where do you start with that? If they think, I've been doing what people are saying, but it's just not working, where am I failing?
Well, you know what's so interesting? So many people they have the expertise, and but they'll think I'm not experienced enough, and I need to go and get more certifications. I need to get more skills. I need to buy more tools. But really, what the problem is that they have the expertise, but they are lacking the translation. So I really help them to tear back the layers of who they are, and give them permission to see who they are in the core. What is the special thing about them? Because a lot of times people don't see that, or they neglect it, or they don't know their own unique geniuses. The things, those little simple things that are going to be the connection to your perfect fit clients, the people that want to work with you, the people that you can help, the people that you're going to be so excited to be helping.
Right. And I think, a lot of times it just takes, like I said before, some intentionality on where you're going because you want to be in the right spot, in the right group where your people are, like you said.
Yeah.
Where is your community? And a lot of times, people will just kind of dump wherever. They'll just do whatever, not really thinking about, is that really where I should be and where I should be spending my time? Because you can spin your wheels a lot in an area where the people are just aren't really interested or not the right demographic or whatever for you, just not the right ideal customer. And so a
Mhm.
lot of times they need that guidance, right, on where they need to go.
Yeah. And so many people are afraid to, narrow down that they do have an ideal client. They they say they can help everybody. And lots of times, yes, that's so true. You probably can. But, pick a group of people that you want to work with, that you know that you can help, and narrow that down. And that's going to help you find those groups to start joining in on, and having those networking events, and focus in and start to get clarity on listening to them. That's how you're going to find out how you can solve problems, is really
Well,
opening your ears.
well, that's it. I mean, listening to them, you just said it. It's so
Yeah.
important. And I think it really starts with kind of meeting people where they are and making them feel seen and heard, because then that is a good cultivates good ground for all that you're trying to help with, right? In the direction
Yeah.
that they're going, kind of leading by example.
Yeah. Oh, so true. It's so true. And that's why I loved how you started with the tip, and that visibility is, you know, so much of it is actually showing up. But the other thing is to see the other person, and you mentioned that it was attractive, be attractive. And it's really about being personable, being human, and treating people that way. When you start to have those human connections, I always say, what kind of business are you in? And people will say, I'm in B2B or I'm in B2C. And really, you're in H2H. You're in the business of human to human. Nobody is out there looking for the big corporations and saying, I want to work with that organization. I want to work with that company. What they want is they want to work with people. We are so deprived of those social connections these days. I don't know whether you find it as well, but ever since we've had all the chaos in the world with in 2020, when we were separated from each other for so long, I really think there's a craving out there for those real connections with people. And when you make a real connection with somebody, you make that human connection, that's the best way to be attractive.
You're right. You're right. People are looking for authenticity. They're looking for something that's real because you can listen to stuff all day long and you can tell when it's a slick sales speech and things that are going on. You're thinking, yeah, it's kind of like when I call trying to get a hold of something and the person on the other end is just reading a script. I'm
Mhm.
like, so what makes you think that that's the help I need? You're just reading a script to me and you're not actually listening to me. And that is so frustrating to me. I'm like, take a moment, listen to what I actually said, and let's try to find a resolution to what's going on, you know? And I,
Yeah. Oh, that's so frustrating.
yeah. Well, and I think showing up, you said it, showing up is half the battle, right?
Yeah.
Because you got to start by showing up and really taking one step after the other. I think a lot of times people just have a trouble with getting started with doing anything, right? And before they
Mhm.
can even do anything, they got to show up.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and, I have to say that, a lot of times people will say, "Well, I'm an introvert, and I don't know what to say, and I'm uncomfortable." I think if you just go in to a situation and have a conversation, it doesn't have to start with business. It just like ask a question. Hi, introduce yourself and ask questions about the other person. And it goes back to that whole listening thing. And it made me think when we were talking about this, when you said if you are getting on the phone and trying to get customer service, even that customer services these days, so much of it is done by bots and AI, which, and I'm not knocking technology. I love technology,
Right.
but that's how, as people, building our brands and making it personal, using our voice, using our listening skills, those are things that can't really be replaced by machines. The thinking, the emotion, and the reactions that we can give somebody.
Oh, exactly. Well, and this is where I think that people need to realize, I mean, AI and technology is great, but it's a tool and it needs people. No matter how great of stuff it does, a person has to create that, has to feed it information. You have to feed it information. That's where it's getting its information, right?
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
it's get, so it is important to think about the fact that it all boils down back to people and to real connection and really focusing in on that. And when people see your intention and don't see just like a script and don't see just a cookie cutter, approach, I think that's also a big frustration of mine. when they're just
Yeah.
like, yep, this is for everybody. No, no, there's
Yeah.
nothing that's for everybody, right? We all have our own, and we all have our own, even if there's good information we can all glean from, we all have our own little twist to it, right? What can we do to shape that? How do you help people do that? Take some of the great, great voices out there without, people want to just duplicate that, and you can't duplicate it. You got to make it your own, right?
Yeah. Well, and that's why our stories are so important. And people think, oh, I have nothing to say. There's nobody, or nobody's going to want to know things about me. But there's always a story. There's always a story that you can share, and antidotes that you have, um, that, just um, connect with people. So you have to find some of those stories. And that's what I really work with people on is, developing the story that's behind the person and how you can explain who you are. People want to know that. People want to know about who they're working with, or how they can connect, or if they have a connection. So many times I've talked to people, especially ones that are, transitioned from many years in a career and now have a business, and they'll want to, work with people, and some of the solutions that they're seeing, maybe they're coming from, these 20-year-olds that have, all this technology help, and it seems like a really great thing, but they're not connecting with them because they're on different levels. So they want to find somebody that's more like them. So you have to show up as somebody that's more like your ideal client.
Exactly. That's just it. I mean, because I think that example makes all the difference. We talk about people, don't, what's that? I'm trying to remember the quote, but well, basically, actions are louder than words. I'll use that one. When
Yeah.
we're doing the things that we're trying to show other people and do things, people get inspired by that, and that motivates them to want to be better and to want to do
Yeah.
things. And then they see it and a good example before them, right? A good example of what they can do. So that is so important in all that we do. So, well, listen. So somebody, I'm calling you, and I don't have any idea where to start, other than you're telling me to show up. I don't know how to show up. I'm a little nervous about it. I want to build my brand. I want to do things. Talk about some of your beginning steps. Someone just comes to you. What are they going to expect? Where are you going to take them?
We're going to start by just having a conversation. I'm going to dive into who you really are. We'll have, I'll ask you just questions that are easy for you to answer. And we're going to understand who you are. And through some of this conversation and some of this one on one work I do with people, I have an innate ability to see really the best parts of who you are and what we can pull out and share with people. And also to be able to put into communication, not only your story and how you are show up personally, but how you can talk about some of the things that you solve for people so that you get that reaction of, oh, that's interesting. Can you tell me more? Don't we love it when somebody leans in and gets interested? I help people to figure out what that is so that they have people leaning in and wanting to know more and have those conversations, because we sell so much faster and easier if we can actually have a one-on-one conversation. And then how do we take that same feeling and put it onto a website or at one of your platforms so that people get that feeling of who you are? Or, Russ, another interesting thing is sometimes it's actually a business, and people are afraid to make the business personal because they don't want it to be based on one person. But how do we make that business feel like it's, a human? Because we want that human feeling. We want it to have a human characteristic. So I work
Yeah.
with people to do that.
Yeah, for sure. I couldn't agree more. That is so great. Well, okay. So in the time we have left, I want you to break everything down, put a nice bow on it all, and tell us what is your gold nugget of the day? What do you really want people to remember from our conversation today? And then make sure they know how to get in touch with you.
So I would say clarity turns into conversations with clients. So when you are building a personal brand, don't think of it as self promotion, think of it as self explanation. And don't be afraid to have some conversations. And
Perfect. Perfect.
And I would love to connect with people on LinkedIn. I love the community on LinkedIn, and I love to share my thoughts there. So connect with me on LinkedIn, and I also have a website where you can reach me at purplemooncreative.com.
Oh, that is so awesome. Well, you know what? Amazingly enough, all of that information just appeared below you in on the screen, and it's also in the show notes and in the comments, so people can just click on it. People can just click and go to Kim, and so I highly recommend that today. I'm telling you, you'll be glad that you did, and so many great points today, Kim. I really, really appreciate you being on and kind of helping us through, because this whole thing of brand identity, visibility, connecting with your ideal customer, and all those kind of things are just confusing for so many people. So appreciate you. We're gonna have you back on sometime, because you just have so much great information. Just appreciate you. And do you have any last comments before we go today?
I just have to say thanks so much, Russ, and thank you for what you do, because you really help people get comfortable with the whole marketing, and you're doing such a great job at elevating people and sharing knowledge. So thank you.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate it. Well, listen, I'm going to say goodbye on screen, but hang tight for a minute in the green room. I'll be right there. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Wow, amazing. Well, Kim is spot on. You guys need to go to her. You need some help with your branding, with your clients. Who are you trying to find out there? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to say? You're having trouble showing up. She can help you with all that and keep it simple for you. And that's what we need. Great people like her today. So make sure you get out there and do that today. Hey, I want to say a couple things before we leave. In fact, first of all, tonight, or late this afternoon, my time, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Russ Reels Live, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, an amazing panel on kindness and how it can change your world. Look at those people there, amazing people that are involved in kindness worldwide. And you do not want to miss it, because we could use more kindness in this world. I'm telling you, definitely could. And with amazing panels like this, Russ Reels Live is a topic driven, panel driven show. So for an hour today, we will talk about kindness and how it can change business, your life, and everything you do. Simple concept, but an amazing effect. And who doesn't want people to be kind to them, right? We all want to live by the golden rule. We want to be treated the way we want to treat people the way we want to be treated. So when you do that and you get kindness back, that's a great thing. So anyway, don't forget today, Brush Reels Live, 4 p.m. All the information will be in the comments, and it's also on my LinkedIn, or you can go to russhedge.com today for all the information on everything that I do. Also, don't forget, we're listener supported. Scan that QR code. Thank you so much for all of your help. And with that, I'm going to say thanks so much for all of this amazing community. This, whether you're watching live or on replay, please engage, comment, and like and share. Don't forget, this does convert to audio podcasts on all the major audio podcast platforms. there. We'd also love it if you would like and share and comment, and that would be so, so great. So with that, until next time, which is Monday coming up, have a blessed and amazing weekend. All right. See you, everybody. Bye.
Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. Be sure to subscribe in your favorite podcast app so that you don't miss a single episode. Have an amazing day.